This lab has 3 pages. The first page are instructions and the questions that you need to answer. The second page is the spectra of fast-moving galaxies, and the third page is the graph. So we're going to start here. You'll need to read this introduction information to be sure that you just have the background information about what a spectra is, what a spectrum is, and you should be able to answer question number 1 just from that reading. Number 2 is where I want to focus most of our time on today, because that is where it's a little bit harder. So for this part, you're going to be down here at the spectra of fast-moving galaxies, and you're going to look at the spectra and read the red line. So for this first one, we know that this is the Milky Way, and it's at a distance of 0 because we're living in it. So it's not far away at all. In fact, it's 0 million light years away. So to read what the velocity is, we'll need to look at this red line. You can see it's right at 0. Therefore, the velocity is 0 kilometers per second. Now, quick detour, velocity is speed in a direction. So even though this is a speed, the direction of all of these galaxies are actually away from us. So it's 0 kilometers per second away. Now note that here in the label, it says thousands kilometers per second. That's going to become important as we go further down on this list. We can't really make a 0 into thousands, but we can do that on the second one. So with Galaxy B, we know that the distance is 800 million light years away. To find the velocity, we have to read this red line. It's just to the right of 20. It looks at about 22 to me. So I'm going to call that 22. Sorry for my bad writing. It is hard to write with a mouse. Remember that this is in thousands kilometers per second. So even though this is at 22, note that we have to add 3 zeros here in order to make it into the thousands. So we have 2 things to graph. We have 800 million and we have 22,000. So let's head down to the graph. On the graph, you can see that the distance is down here and it's in millions of light years, which is great because that's the exact same calculation that it was on the last page. And then on the y-axis, we have galaxy speed in kilometers per second. Note that that does not mention anything about thousands, but when you look here on all these numbers, they all are in thousands. So that's going to be nice because we can just take the numbers from this page and plot them directly on this page without having to do any additional calculations. So the distance for Galaxy B was 800 million light years away, and the speed for Galaxy B was 22,000 kilometers per second. So we find where these two intersect and we make a point here. You'll do this for each of the points here. All of these are given to you. All of the distances are given to you. You'll have to read the red line to find out what the velocity is. Don't forget to add those 3 zeros at the end of it in order to make it into thousands. You'll take each pair of numbers and you'll plot them down here on the graph. Coming back up to the questions, that will take you through questions 2 and 3. So after that, all that you'll have left is to read this section here and answer questions 4 and 5.